Today we're going to look at digital cars, video game cars, and we're going to look and kind of see where they got their inspiration from their real life counterpart. Let's take a look. On this first one that we're going to do, we're going to start off with Fortnite, and it's going to be the Imperator. Kind of a weird word. Turns out that word means commander. Yep. So that's where that word came from. But let's take a look and see. So if you can see right here, it's going to be definitely more angular, more sharp. This is something you're going to see more in the late 70s, early to mid 80s, right in that zone where everything was sharp, everything was angled, everything was, I don't know, sharp and angled. I don't know how else to explain it. And also, as you can see here, it's got kind of a rake. So the rake, as in it's going to be sitting more like this rather than a little more flat like this. You'd see on like supercars and stuff are going to be a little more flat, whereas muscle cars are going to be kind of in that raked position with that butt up in the air. So when I was looking at this one, there were a few things that kind of caught my eye. One of them is this rear deck lid here. You're going to see that a lot with rear engine cars. Okay. So for an example on that, let me show you this little F50 right here, this Ferrari F50. So you can see it's going to be kind of tubbed out right there as well. They're going to have your engine, all that good stuff right in there on that rear engine car. Another example, kind of more modern, is going to be this guy. This is going to be your Lamborghini Gallardo, and it's going to have that deck lid also, which is basically going to be your hood, and that's going to be covering up that engine. Pull that guy off, you can get in the engine that way. But as you can see, it's going to have kind of that sunken in look to it. You're going to have that sunken in deck lid compared to the rest of the body. So that's what I thought was kind of interesting with this car. As you can kind of see, exactly what I was talking about. You're going to have that deck lid sunken in compared to that those higher sides over the fenders right over there. Another thing that I thought was kind of interesting is you've got this line right here. A lot of cars have lines. Actually, every car has a line at least. But this one's interesting because you're going to have this line right here, goes the whole length. You're going to have this fat line kind of dies off halfway through, and you're going to have also some little vents right in there. So what car do we know of that has an accentuated pocket right here on the side, also has vents right here? And I think we all know what we're talking about. The Ferrari Testarossa. Look at this guy. Look at that initial line there, the hard line underneath it, and then the vents. Of course, obviously the one that I was showing you, the Imperator, it's going to have, less in those vents. But you can tell that some of that design was borrowed from this guy, having those sharp lines there, having the vent right there. But also another thing I kind of picked up when looking at that Imperator was that it has pop-up headlights. Okay, it has the pop-up headlights here, and then also it has this little flat spot with that vent right in there. Okay, very similar to I don't have a picture of it right now, but it's gonna be Honda and Acura's MDX, not MDX. Oh wow, that's their SUV. NSX. Sorry. Wow, MDX. Come on. Also, another thing that's kind of interesting with this Ferrari Testarossa that I saw that was very close to what that Imperator has is going to be this little vent right there, the flat spot right in there, and then your pop-up headlights, which is going to be something that's going to be very in that era. This one's going to be more of 80s than 90s era, as you can see that 1990 Testarossa. And that does, I guess, go into later in the 90s. But it's going to be in those 2 decades of car design where you're going to have the pop-up headlights. And I like the pop-up headlights when they are down. Makes it look a lot better. This picture right here. Headlights are down, looks nice and sleek. Headlights are up, looks kind of dumb, but you got to have headlights. So, sorry. That's the only way it's going to be. But, as I pointed out before, flattish spot there. Vent right in there. Headlights, pop-up headlights. So, when you go back to this guy, you are going to have, of course, it's still spinning, but you're going to have that Oh, looky there. Flat spot, little vent, headlights. I think that's very Testarossa-esque design. Not a whole lot of cars had that. All those kind of lumped into the middle right in there. I don't know of any car, so you guys have to kind of help me out here. Which car, and I couldn't think of any, had that part right there, that cutout? I can't think of any car that has that cutout. If you can, put in the comments below, let me know what I'm missing out on and help me with that. But if you look at it from the side, like I kind of said, it's kind of that 80s design, sharp. It's got kind of that muscle car-esque rake on it, the butt up in the air. Okay. What else does that look like? I know right off the bat, it's easy to think of, okay, you've got some sort of, DeLorean in there, possibly because it's going to be square, because it's going to be sporty looking. It's going to be kind of flat. The DeLorean's also very flat. This has a lot more hood excitement in it compared to the DeLorean. So, what do I think it looks like the most? Well, buckle up because I found it. Here we go. This right here, the Pantera, De Tomaso Pantera. So, this guy, as you can see, a lot of the same lines there. A little different on that little wheel arch there. That one's going to be more smoothed out, but it's going to have very similar lines, very similar shapes to it. As you can see, it's got that sunken in lid for that engine right there in the back. I mean, realistically, I think this is what they were trying to design it after, and they had it make it look like something else. Legally wise, as you can see, there's going to be the bumpers kind of coming out just a little bit ahead of that hood, but it's a little more exaggerated in that Imperator car. But I think honestly, this is what they were going for. This is what the design they had was. They said, "Okay, this car is pretty cool. Let's design it as close as we can without getting hit with some sort of copyright infringement." I think they, added a few different versions of some other cars, but realistically, this is it. This is what they were going for. Was that Pantera, and I think that car, that Imperator that they made, I think it's pretty cool. I think it looks good. Styling wise, I think they nailed it. You could tell the person who designed this one was into that 80s era of car. Fantastic. I can't find anything wrong with it as long as you're looking at it at that frame of mind. You can't be looking at it from, like a 90s Super Mark IV. Everything's round, everything's smooth, everything's kind of melted compared to this guy. So sharp, angular, and that's kind of what happens as far as car styling goes. You're gonna have some decades where everything's gonna be sharp, everybody's gonna be sharp, pointed, everything's gonna be round in the next couple decades, and then back to sharp. That's just kind of how it goes. Good job, guys. A plus. If that's what you're shooting for, you absolutely nailed it. Let me know if you like this format. I kind of wanted to try to see if I could scrounge up some pictures to kind of show you, because this is the kind of stuff I like doing. Is I like looking at cars, whether it be in real life, whether it be in video games, where they're not going to be the exact car for copyright reasons of what they're based off of, but you're going to tell that they kind of had the idea. They're going to go off of this type of style. Okay. You're going to go off of this general idea, and they change a few things. So I'm interested to know what you guys think. If you like me rambling on about this type of stuff, like I said, I love talking about it. Love trying to get in that designer's head and kind of see what they were thinking. Make sure that you're subscribed. I have a few more of these coming down the pipe, so make sure hit that bell to be notified when they pop up. Thanks, guys. Bye.